Shalom, family. This is Judy J. Project Bluebeam, the technology for mass holographic deception and psychological manipulation, has existed for decades. This was an article that was created December 14th, 2019. It goes on to state, if governments could project a massive, realistic hologram into the sky above entire societies, such as the image of a deity significant to a region, imagine the implications if such a vision started speaking, the words appearing telepathically as thoughts directly inside people's heads. Disturbingly, this scenario may not be science fiction, as the technology for mass deception and psychological manipulation on a major scale has existed for decades. This article was very alarming to me when I saw it, because it makes me reflect back on what the word of the Most High Yah said in Matthew 24:24. It says, there shall be false Christs which shall arise, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Now, in the last days which we live in now, the enemy has sort of allowed their hand to be seen in a lot of the deceptions in which they are creating around the world. They create these deceptions, such as false flags, which um, are those events that occur by their own hands. They follow the Hegelian dialect, which says that they present the problem and then they wait to see how the population will react to the problem, and then they bring in the solution. So when you are the author of the confusion, then you also know what it's going to take in order to remedy that confusion or to bring an end to that confusion. It's not an authentic um, malady that's occurring. It's something that's been contrived, that's been thought about. And the people that think about these things, the Bible says that they think deeply. The wicked think deeply about the mischief that they create. Their father is the fallen one. He is Satan. And he has, from the foundation of this earth, he has been working his deceptions in nature, of course, in Yah's creation, which is man, as he deceived Eve in the garden and caused and was the major factor, or um, he was the major reason why man fell, by lying to them, by deceiving them. He made them believe that God was trying to shield them or keep them from inheriting something that was greater than what he had for them. So the enemy has been working, and he was in heaven with the Most High Yah, as being his name was Lucifer in the beginning, but he is the wisest of the of Yah's creation. He's the wisest of the creation that he made, and so um, this is another one of the examples of the false wisdom which shall be made known in the world very shortly, and that has already began to be made known in the world through the deceptions of the people that follow him. 2 Thessalonians 2:3-9 says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Now what we need to see here is where it says, the man of sin shall not be revealed unless the falling away occurs first. So then I would say, what makes that falling away occur? Everybody in this world has seen so many things that would challenge their faith. We've all seen those people that we held in high regard, people that were those that served God and that were the mouthpiece of his, of supposedly of his word, and we've seen them fall. We've seen these people fall through all throughout time. We've seen all sorts of things, abnormalities happen in the earth, as far as the weather, as far as the earthquakes, and we've seen the wars and the rumors of wars. We've seen all of these things that have challenged our faith in God, questioning Him. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? All these things we've seen these things happen. Leaders that are raping little kids, and they're the head of the clergy, and they're the figurehead of whole faiths, and they fall. We've seen what happened in the Christian church. We've seen all the lying wonders that occur in the church. The pastor touches the person's head, they fall out, and it's just a show. It's just nothing but a sideshow. We've seen all these pastors, crooked, fake pastors, taking money from the congregation and saying that it's for God's purposes, and then they end up with some huge car or some nice house, and they've having relationships with those in the congregation. We've seen all these things, but that great falling away hasn't occurred. So I say, what is it about what will happen in this world in the near future that's going to cause mass people to fall away? And when I look at this article about Project Bluebeam, it says, imagine if there was realistic holograms in the sky above entire societies of the images of deities significant to that region. Now, what if they were able to speak telepathically, um, sort of putting thoughts inside people's heads? Now, imagine if you were a man or a woman of faith. You'd been, grew up in learning about different tenets of different faiths all your life, and now you see the very image of the person that, or the deity that you have come to believe through your studies, through your experience in prayer and worship and all these things. What if they're now right before you in the sky, and they're speaking to you, and the words that they say mirror the words that come from the word of that from the pages that you had been studying? Would that be great enough to turn you away if that vision, let's say that vision and that voice told you that everything you had learned, you just didn't understand, you didn't get it correct, and now this is the new way in which this thing that you had always sought, this understanding of God and your place in this reality, this is how it really is. I'm here to explain to you what everything you've ever wanted to know. I want you to know this is the way it is. This is what you were looking for in the very beginning. What if that voice and what if that figure was right before you? What would you do? And so I would think that that would cause a great falling away. But what you need to understand is that the enemy does not show his hand without having a reason for doing so. For instance, the enemy reveals their plans through their movies and their television shows. It's a form of witchcraft and sorcery, as to prepare the masses for what's going to occur in the future without them really knowing, because of the platform in which they're using to reveal their plans. When you watch a movie, most people just watch movies to watch a movie for entertainment. They're not thinking that there's some sort of sinister plot or plan that's actually being carried out against them. And so, if they had a movie that showed a whole bunch of people causing chaos, or rebelling against authority, or just whatever it might be, then that very thing you saw in that movie will be reflected in reality at some point. So this is one of the schemes that they use in order to let the masses know of their destruction before it occurs. And it's actually a tactic that is used in the secret societies. It's sort of like a mocking of mankind, where they tell them what's going to happen, and before it happens, and they know that they will not be wise enough to see it for what it really is. They'll trivialize it because man is asleep right now as to the devices of Satan. They don't even understand that Satan exists. And so why would they think that there's some sort of nefarious tactic being waged against them for their destruction? So they won't. So they don't. So this is the way they carry out their business. But what you need to know is that this whole Bluebeam is nothing but a hoax in itself. because it's not going to be a technological device that will show these images in the sky. It will not be a technological device that will be able to telepathically put thoughts inside your head. It will be familiar spirits. It will be actual workings from the satanic kingdom, which will manifest in these times where they will be able to put images in the sky, um, that will look like a certain deity, or the image that you have come to believe is of the deity. So if it's Christianity, then you'll see an image that looks like a white man with a brown beard and long curly hair. That's because of the mind control that we have been under, that has put that image in our minds as to represent Christ. And so they rely on the things that we think about. Now, think about what I just said. They rely on the things that we think about in order to deceive us. And you would say, how are they able to uh, retrieve the images that we, or the thoughts that we think of? How do they retrieve that information? That's not rational. That's not logical. That's not normal. Well, in the last days, we are going to experience the unnormal, the things of the spiritual realm which people cannot understand. There's no spiritual representation of those things which are spiritual. These are the intangible things, the things you can't see. These are the things that will represent these end times. The spiritual realm shall be made real. And what you need to know is that it has always been operating around you since the inception of time. The spiritual realm is more relevant and more real than those things which are tangible in front of you. What you need to understand is that those that are in power, the satanic elite that have sold their souls to Satan, they deal with these demonic forces. They deal with Satan himself. They get the instructions on how they are to lead this world by the fallen one. They're only working for the fallen one, and to carry out his wishes. The fallen one seeks to take away the souls of men from the Most High Yah. He has a hate for the Father Yah because he was kicked out of heaven. And that because he lost his dominion, and because the Most High Yah had created man to be in his image and also to be greater than the angels. It says that in the Bible that man shall judge angels. Well, Satan did not care of anything for that. So he led a rebellion in heaven. Of course, we know what happened. He lost. He got kicked out of heaven. Now his fight is against the Most High Yah by trying to cause as many men to fall and not experience the eternal rest and peace and joy that we have available to us through the blood of Yahushua Mashiach, which died for us at Calvary. So he uses men on this earth that will accept him as their God, bow down to him. He gives them their gifts, just like he tried to, when Christ went up to the mountain, he offered him everything that he saw, all the kingdoms of the world, if he would only bow down to him. Of course, Christ denied him and said, "Depart from me, Satan, for you shall worship the Lord your God, and the Lord your God you only shall you worship." So the Most High, for Christ did not fall for the sauce, so to speak. But there are men and women on this earth that have taken that deal. And because of that, we have the wicked leaders that are guiding this world to destruction, that are guiding this world away from knowing the Most High power of Israel and his son, Yahushua Mashiach. They're leading this world in an opposite direction. The yin yang principle. They believe that good is evil and evil is good. So they believe everything backward in reverse because they follow the will of their father. Now, the deception is going to be carried out in such a way where people will believe, of course, that the images they see in the sky and the voices they're hearing are real. And also the deception that they're creating, because Satan always comes in more than one way. His deception is, I will show them what's going to happen, but it's not going to happen the way they think it's going to happen. The device they think is going to be used to make it happen is actually not the device that's going to cause it to happen. So by continuing to put this message in the people's minds about Project Bluebeam and its ability to put these images in the sky and cause these different voices to telepathically put thoughts inside your mind, men subconsciously will believe that it is a machine or a man-made device that's doing this. So when in actuality, it's a spiritual occurrence, that's going to be something that men are not going to be prepared for. The things that they will see, the fire that the Bible said that the Antichrist, the fallen one, as he operates in Antichrist, will send from heaven. That's not going to be a man made weapon. That's going to be a spiritual occurrence that's going to happen. Satan is going to allow the man of sin in which he operates in to cast down fire from heaven. When the people that believe this is Project Bluebeam, when they see these things, that part of them that believes it's still a hoax, it's going to sort of shield their mind from the true brunt of what's happening, only until they really experience the lying wonders for what they really are. And they'll realize, there'll be a point where they realize this is not a machine doing this. This is something beyond anything they could ever imagine. They will realize that the spiritual realm is real. But by that time, it will be so much fear and so much chaos and so much just disarray throughout the world that they will not care about trying to fight for their freedom, or maybe they may not care anymore about seeking the Most High at all, because this thing that's happening to them at that moment is going to be beyond what they can comprehend. And so when that entity, or whoever the man of sin is, when he comes with those types of powers and showcases that in the world, men will accept his mark. Men will decide to either fear, or because they think that no one else could accomplish anything like this. This is not a man. This is actually, you know, little g. They'll call him a god. So the people will say, who can war with the beast? Just like the Bible said. So by continuing to put this message in the people's minds about Project Bluebeam and its ability to put these images in the sky and cause these different voices to telepathically put thoughts inside your mind, men subconsciously will believe that it is a machine or a man-made device that's doing this. So when in actuality, it's a spiritual occurrence, that's going to be something that men are not going to be prepared for. The things that they will see, the fire that the Bible said that the Antichrist, the fallen one, as he operates in Antichrist, will send from heaven. That's not going to be a man-made weapon. That's going to be a spiritual occurrence that's going to happen. Satan is going to allow the man of sin in which he operates in to cast down fire from heaven. When the people that believe this is Project Bluebeam, when they see these things, that part of them that believes it's still a hoax, it's going to sort of shield their mind from the true brunt of what's happening, only until they really experience the lying wonders for what they really are. And they'll realize, there'll be a point where they realize this is not a machine doing this. This is something beyond anything they could ever imagine. They will realize that the spiritual realm is real. But by that time, it will be so much fear and so much chaos and so much just disarray throughout the world that they will not care about trying to fight for their freedom, or maybe they may not care anymore about seeking the Most High at all, because this thing that's happening to them at that moment is going to be beyond what they can comprehend. But what I believe is that this occurrence that's going to happen is going to be a mass deception, a deception that's so great that even the elect shall fall away. And I believe that it's because of people not being prepared. They're not prepared to see anything like this. They are allowing the things that are in the heavens to cause them to be alarmed, which the Bible told us not to. So, because of the sheer scope of this event and just how out of man's ability to understand and perceive and to reason that something like this could actually happen, this might be the reason for the great falling away. those that thought that this was just some sort of machine or some sort of government led agenda, they don't understand that it goes far beyond that. This is the last days. This is the event, the final events of time, and it's a fight between the fallen one and the Most High Yah. And so the fallen one will use every tactic at his disposal in order to cause men to fall and to cause them to get on his side and to turn away from the Most High Yah. That's all he wants. Satan uses these tactics of his as to, to deceive the masses without us knowing we're being deceived. So they give us information about the things that they're going to do or the things they're planning to do, and then they put a spin on it. Basically, they'll show you what they're going to do, but they're not going to show you how they're going to do it. So you'll come away thinking you're so astute and you're so wise and you're so awoken, but then in actuality, you're getting further away from what the truth is. In the end, you're getting further away from what the truth really is. So they can say they're going to create these images in the sky, and they're going to be of deities and pictures of deities. They're going to put voices in your mind. But what you're actually dealing with is the actual spiritual realm, the dark side of the spiritual realm, Satan's side. So there are familiar spirits. There are fallen deities, fallen angels that and spirits that are going to be released from the Euphrates, and there's also the satanic spirits that are on the earth now, and they're just all gonna come and coalesce together at that moment, and it's gonna be so to speak, one of the biggest shows the history of time, because they're going to use everything that they have to trick man. And the Most High Yah said that He will allow these deceptions to happen. These deceptions shall even cause the elect to fall. But Satan has people in the conscious community, so to speak, thinking they have a hold on this, thinking they have understanding of how this thing is going to play out. But see, those that truly seek the Most High Yah and that truly are praying to Him and worshiping Him and obeying Him and making it their life to turn away from sin, He's revealing these things in the spiritual realm to us. This is how Satan works in ways that man just can't fathom. And if you don't believe he exists, then you really can't deal with this. You really cannot deal with this, you know. And that's why there's this. I think there's this this sense of arrogance in those of the Satanic kingdom, those people that rule this world, because they know they're giving us these little tidbits of information about what their plans seem to be, while in actuality we're so far away from it, because they'll give us a little truth, but they'll hold back the big part of the truth, and that in itself takes away the whole truth. It takes away the whole reason for seeking this information. So hey, last days, wake up.